here with the Oasis for Natural Healing. So, talking today about full moons, F bombs, and Calm AF. So, and you can insert whatever you would like as a replacement for the AF. Anyway, who's had like a crazy last couple days, by the way? I know that we have here at the office, and some of the patients have too, but like today was kind of just really goofy. And I would have thought it was like Mercury and retrograde type stuff. Our email system like kind of like we couldn't get in and I couldn't log in. And a lot of our patients communicate that way, or they're sending in, especially when we have virtual patients, and they're sending in, paperwork and all this other things. And like I couldn't get in, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was highly annoying. So of course, you know, because this impedes work, my anxiety level goes right through the roof. And this is right before I'm supposed to start work. So, because I woke up early trying to do some like work before work and I couldn't log in. So, of course, my little head, has to turn around and I got fixated because I have to fix everything right now. Does anybody ever get like that? Do you like where you fixate on things? Because you do, would love to hear you. So that way I know I'm not the only one. Well, anyway, so I'm getting all frustrated and I'm getting all flustered and everything like that. And you ever listen to like that little inner voice? Do you guys get that where it says, okay, calm down, everything's going to be okay? And like it's just that deeper knowing type voice that says it's an internal thing from their side, not yours, and it's going to be fixed. Well, do you think I actually would listen to that? Oh no, I got myself like all worked up. So was late for work on top of everything. It was just like kind of one of those mornings. And then everything went like to hell in a handbasket. Now, my mom, I don't know if anybody knows, my mom actually works for me. My mom's not a swearer. I'm the one that cusses all the time, to be honest. I'm like the one dropping everything, like all the words. So my mom, the gentle one out of the two of us, who like doesn't like to swear, doesn't like to cuss. It was one of those days. So she's like F bombing and dropping the F bombs all over the place, like to the point where like I've never heard her. And I almost start like, if I didn't cry, like I was laughing. So, saying to my mom, she's working for me. So she's at work dropping F bombs. And I was like, I've never heard her swear. Tamara, my associate, is like trying not to crack up because, like, if my mom's swearing, that like things are just really sour. So, and then realized that it was the full moon last night. So, on top of everything. Now, technology issues usually sometimes happens like with retrograde stuff and things like that, Mercury and retrograde and whatnot. And I don't really follow all that stuff too much, but I do know that like computer stuff has been known to go hey wonky around that time. I don't know whether that's going on now or not. But anyway, so and the full moon is so going on. And now we do know that parasites and full moon kind of go hand in hand, and parasite activity is more increased. So like your anxiety levels can go up, agitation, headaches. So like some of your symptoms can get worse. And so you may be a little bit out of like the norm with your behavior and things like that. So I know that I was really, really a lot more agitated, and I'm currently doing a parasite cleanse myself right now, but I was a little bit more agitated more than usual, especially yesterday and today. And so there's my mom like dropping F bombs. So I just went to this really good conference. It's a holistic conference actually, it's open to the public if anybody ever wanted to go and you weren't a practitioner. It's anybody who has an interest in holistic health, and you get to really listen to good keynote speakers, some other really good colleagues and things like that. So went to this conference and I absolutely love, so it's a new product line that is called Calm AF. Actually, it's got two herbs in there. You can substitute that AF for whatever you want. I like to say calm as, and then fill in the blank. I'm going to try to be PG because we're live. But yeah, so technically the AF stands for Aegis Formulas, which is the company. And I really, really like the product lines a lot. So it's really kind of cool because it's almost like a strip and it's actually very good tasting. Um, it tastes kind of like a little bit of like of a honey, like vanilla-y, caramely flavor. And it dissolves and it kicks in within about 5 to 10 minutes. Well, the first time I tried it, which was over the weekend, um, I had this like this whole calm down like sensation. Like I didn't feel groggy. I didn't feel like off balance or anything like that. It actually just slowed me down. So with all today's agitation, I probably could have used two or three of these things. It did help for a period of time while I was really frustrated. But like I said, I probably could have used two or three of these today. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. They have some new products. One is called Clear AF, and that's supposed to help with histamine reactions. So think of like instead of running to Zyrtec or running for like things like that, it's supposed to clear up allergies pretty quickly, like within 10 to 15 minutes. And I know some of my colleagues tried it, over the weekend who are like exposed to like a little bit of mold in their hotel room because mold can cause like a lot of allergies too. And they said it helped out tremendously. I didn't have like really any sinus congestion at all. So I didn't have to, I didn't need to take any of that. But I'm really excited about the Clear AF because we know that like histamine reactions and things like that is actually a deeper issue. So like if you have allergies and you have asthma and things like that, it's actually from a liver and kidney issue because the kidney and the liver actually help to break down histamine. So if there's an imbalance, and even if you have normal labs, if there's an imbalance ever at all in your kidney or liver, then you're not metabolizing histamine, you're not breaking it down as well, and then you wind up with like allergies, asthma, and all these other things. But like for a natural histamine supplement, Clear AF, which I'm really excited to bring on board, Clear AF helps with that. And what's nice is it's not a pill. So you can actually put it in your tongue and you can dissolve it and whatnot. So I'm really excited about bringing that in. But the Calm AF, oh my gosh, that stuff is fantastic. Probably could have used a couple more today, but they were samples. And again, I don't like to like suggest anything to my patients that I'm not willing to do myself, or if I don't feel like it works. And let me preface that too, because all of our bodies are unique. Right? So just because a supplement might not work on me doesn't mean it won't work on you. Just like even if we use medications, right? Not all medications work the same and work for every single person because your body is different. Well, same thing goes with supplements. You can have a really, really good product, but it might not be the right formula or the right thing for the person. So I'm really excited about Aegis Formulas. But anyway, yeah, so full moons, we're F-bombs were flying in the office, which was kind of interesting. And then, yeah. And when that happens, you definitely want a good product that you can actually calm down with. Some other quick tips on how to calm down if you can remember. So deep breathing, doing some body tapping can actually help to re-stimulate and just change like neural pathways in the body, and get you out of your head. So sometimes creating a bigger physical stimulus, can stop that rapid thinking or the racing thoughts or the anxious thoughts. And I'm not talking about like really like hurting yourself, but I mean, think about it. If you turn around and, you were anxious and you stubbed your toe, that physical stimulation or that pain from the toe stops the anxiety pretty quickly. And now you're thinking about the toe. Well, we don't necessarily want to cause pain, but like body tapping, and like harder stimulation. And if you really bring your focus and your attention onto the body tapping in different parts, that can help to kind of calm down that brain of yours. So, and kind of get you out of your thoughts. So things like Calm AF, deep breathing, body tapping, I love Fields of Flowers from Energetics. That's a really good company, and you can actually use the two sometimes together. So Fields of Flowers and Calm AF can really help taking for a walk. And then the most important thing is doing a parasite cleanse on a regular basis. And by the way, we do have a winner. So we did the biggest parasite challenge and we asked you guys who won, and we had patient number 1 was the winner. So I will be posting their picture in the comment section below, and that person won. So I'm very happy to announce that. And the biggest parasite challenge starts over again this month. So every single month it renews, and every single patient, whether they won the last month or whether or not, they can submit more pictures the following month. So it again starts October 1st. So we're going to be doing another biggest parasite challenge in October, but I will be posting September's winner when I'm done with this. And it was patient number 1, had the most votes because we had so many pictures. We actually let you guys vote, and a big, huge email blast was sent out. Plus we asked online, and patient number 1. So I will be posting that picture in the comment section when I'm done. So don't forget to kind of look back in a little bit and see who won. And I'll be also in the comment section, I will be also mentioning their symptoms, what they came in with, and how they're doing now and what they're feeling like and how they're improving, because everybody's got parasites, and it's more active around the full moon and the new moon. It can be, and there's a couple different reasons for that. So melatonin levels drop. Okay, so you can actually have harder time sleeping, but then serotonin levels rise, and serotonin levels have been actually linked to exciting the parasites. And then body fluid actually changes because we're mostly made up of water. So when the body fluid changes, then you can have actually more parasitic activity. And this is actually on the CDC website. So parasites, especially larvae, can actually encapsulate themselves and form cysts. So you can actually look this up on the CDC website, and they form cysts, and then they can go migrating because the extra fluid, the body fluid, blood and things like that will actually kind of carry them, and they can actually go migrating around to different parts of your body. So you might not even see them in your poop. Okay. Because they can actually be in your liver. They can actually be in your brain. CDC actually says this too. So patients have had it in their lungs. I actually had a patient 2 years ago who, well, I've had more patients since, but this was one of the patients actually had a parasite in her sinuses. She was getting bloody noses and headaches and things like that. And she did a neti pot nasal wash, and she was doing herbal tinctures for parasites. And she actually blew out a parasite out of her nose. And I actually posted this. But this was like almost 2 years ago. You can go look back at the pictures, but I might actually post that in the comment section too. And if you scroll in, you can actually see. So you'll see the bloody blood clot from the nose. And then if you zoom in, you can actually see the parasite and the segments from the parasite. How gross is that? Like, who wants to think of like parasites actually being in your sinuses? But yeah, sometimes those sinus allergies that you have, the chronic sinus infections, the bloody noses, the stuffiness and stuff like that, that's actually parasites. I've had other patients that have also tested for parasites in their sinuses, and they didn't blow it out. They actually, not to sound gross, as gross as this is, they actually felt like them swat, like it actually slid down the back of their throat. So very gross. Parasites have come out of my patients out of pretty much every single orifice. So yes, they live in multiple places, and they can live in multiple places, causing many, many different things, from sinus issues to headaches to chronic bacterial vaginosis. Yes, those parasites can be in those areas too. So to gut issues, to skin problems, to headaches, to migraines, anxiety, depression, brain fog, memory issues, schizophrenia. So yes, these little critters are everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And your kiddos, So pay attention if you have youngsters and they're a little bit more hyper or they're a little bit more agitated and it's around the full moon. Chances are it's parasites. If they have ants in their pants and they can't sit still, it's parasites. Craving sugar, it's parasites. So sometimes chronic infections. I even had one patient that, and we started doing a parasite cleanse on her. She had chronic UTI, like a chronic UTI. Like this poor thing, she had a chronic UTI for over a year. And she kept showing up for bacteria, and she had been on, she was miserable. And she was showing up for bacteria in her urine and on multiple antibiotics over and over and over again. And it really wasn't going away. And we muscle tested her, and she was actually showing up for parasites in her kidney. We started doing a parasite cleanse and dealing with, can you imagine, like, UTI symptoms just suck. Like, it feels like you're peeing out shards of glass. Like, it's not comfortable. And you chronically have abdominal pain. You chronically feel like you have to pee. At least us women do. I don't know about guys, but we like, I've had UTIs before, and you feel like you have to pee every 2 seconds, and it feels like you're peeing out shards of glass. It's not comfortable. And to have those symptoms for over a year, I'd be freaking anxious too. And she was anxious, she was depressed, and she just was like, you could tell, like, all of the hope, like, was just drained from her eyes because she didn't know what else to do. So, and we started her on a parasite cleanse, and lo and behold, she started getting better. And she, like, it was so emotionally, like, empowering to actually, for her to feel better, to know that this is helping, but at the same time disheartening to, like, know that Western medicine is missing this stuff. And she asked me, well, why didn't parasites show up in my urine? And that's a really good question. Why didn't they? Because sometimes those parasites can be, like, attached to the tissue. So unless you're actually killing them where they're dying and they cannot attach themselves to your tissues, you're not going to excrete them. So it's only when we start killing them that they start leaving your body. And you start seeing them, like, in your poop. Not to sound gross, I had one woman, one of my patients was having chronic bacterial vaginosis, and she actually had parasites leave her vaginal canal. Yeah, a lot of them, they were dead. So as gross as that is, that has happened more than once. So Western medicine, unless, like I said, you're actively killing them, it's missing it because these little suckers turn around and attach to your tissues. They can embed themselves between tissues and things like that. So stool samples can miss them. You can have gut issues, and maybe it's higher up in the GI tract. Maybe it's in your gallbladder causing those gallbladder attacks. And yes, they can. And yes, they have been linked to gallstones. So do your research, guys. So these little suckers are everywhere. So pay attention to the full moons and things like that. Yeah, and we do like I said, we do the biggest parasite challenge. If you would like, and you have to, guys, and if you're going to do it on your own, you have to make sure you're taking a good binder. You have to make sure that you're taking good drainage. A lot of people can, and we don't use ivermectin. We don't use those things why? Because it's a chemical. Your body, you can get, all of my patients that excrete these parasites, we use herbs and only herbs. We haven't used ivermectin. It's a chemical. We're so toxic to begin with. We don't need to be adding more toxic crap into our bodies. You don't need extra stuff. Your body has a hard enough time with all of the toxin burden that we're putting on our bodies on a daily basis. We don't need to be adding more stuff. Use herbs, use what God gave us. Your body knows what to do with it. So we use natural things. We use homeopathic, we use herbs, we use whole food supplements such as garlic, clove, things like that. to get rid of gunk and parasites and all those other things. So, would like more information? Then give us a call. We have no problems, discussing things and seeing, what we can do to help or give you tips and tricks and all that other fun stuff. So if you would like more information, give us a call, 708-694-4092. Have a good one, guys.